There's a moment in every man's life where the light fades and the world turns cold. You wake up and the air feels heavier, like something is pressing down on your chest. Friends become ghosts. Dreams feel like distant lies you once told. Yourself to feel better, you look in the mirror and the fire in your eyes has turned to ash. The world doesn't hand out sympathy. It sharpens its claws when you're weakest. Bills pile up, hearts break, and the silence at night screams louder than any war zone. You start doubting everything, your worth, your path, your strength. That's when darkness grabs you by the throat and whispers, "This is who you really are." But that whisper is a damn lie. It doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, subtle. One disappointment here, a betrayal there, a missed opportunity that gnaws at you like rust on iron. You keep telling yourself it's just a phase, that things will turn around, but they don't. They get worse. The smiles you wear in public begin to crack in private. You stop answering calls, stop chasing anything. You walk past mirrors like they're enemies, afraid they'll reflect a version of yourself you don't recognize, or worse, one you do. You try to fake normal. You nod, you smile, you laugh on cue, but inside something is rotting. You can feel it. And the world? It doesn't care. It keeps moving, louder, faster, harsher. People scroll past your pain like it's just another post. You realize that vulnerability is currency no one's trading anymore. You scream silently in rooms filled with people who don't look up. Every small failure starts echoing like a siren. Didn't get the job. Maybe you're just not good enough. Another failed relationship. Maybe you're not lovable. The lies start stacking, building a fortress around your mind. And once they start sounding like truth, that's when you're in real danger. Not from the world, but from yourself. You start shrinking, not physically, but spiritually. You avoid eye contact, you move quieter, you hate yourself for wanting to cry, but cry anyway in places no one can see. You memorize the patterns on your ceiling at 2 a.m., begging for sleep. That never comes. You talk to God, but it feels like you're on mute. You curse the universe, then apologize in the same breath like a prisoner bargaining for a pardon. You think about who you used to be, and it stings. Because that person had fire, that person believed, and now you're just trying to make it to tomorrow without falling apart. Then the voice comes. The one deep in your gut, the one that doesn't yell, doesn't plead. It just speaks. This is it, this is who you are now. And part of you starts to believe it, that maybe you're just built for failure, that maybe greatness was never written in your blood. That's the devil in disguise right there, not with horns, but with reason. Not with hate, but with logic. And if you listen too long, it becomes truth. It builds a cage so subtle, you don't even see the bars. But here's what it doesn't expect. You've got rage buried beneath the ruin, and that rage will be your resurrection. You start moving through the world like a ghost, unseen, unheard, uncared for. Rock bottom doesn't introduce itself with fireworks. It greets you with numbness. You stop hoping. You stop trying. The fight leaves your fists, and all that's left is a broken man staring at a ceiling that never changes. You lose count of the days. You push people away because pain feels safer than disappointment. No one claps for you when you're alone trying to claw your way back up. But here's the thing. Pain is the greatest teacher you'll ever have. And the lesson? No one is coming to save you. Rock bottom isn't some dramatic fall. It's a slow erosion of everything that made you feel human. It's brushing your teeth with dead eyes. It's eating meals you can't taste. It's losing track of time because nothing feels real anymore. You start floating through your own life like an extra in someone else's story. The texts stop coming. The invitations dry up. Your own shadow barely follows you. You become invisible, not just to the world, but to yourself. And that's the scariest part. Forgetting what it felt like to want something, to fight for it, to feel like you mattered. You start lying to people. I'm fine. Just tired. It's all good. And the worst part, they believe you. Because no one wants to dig beneath the surface. No one wants to touch the wreckage. It's easier to pretend you're okay than to admit you're drowning in plain sight. You find yourself avoiding the people who once gave you light, not because they failed you, but because their light reminds you of how far you've fallen. It's a twisted kind of self-punishment. Isolation becomes your drug, and every hit of silence numbs you just enough to last another worthless day. Then come the habits, not the good ones, the ones that dig graves, sleeping until noon, scrolling endlessly, eating junk not because you're hungry, but because you want to feel something. You start escaping into distractions, porn, TV, fake relationships, cheap dopamine. You're not living, you're sedating. You're medicating your soul with poison. And in some messed up way, it feels safe, because at least in the pit you know what to expect. No surprises, no new pain, just the same old hell you've made peace with. That's what makes rock bottom so dangerous. It convinces you it's home. But somewhere in that silence, something shifts. Not a scream, not a breakthrough, just a breath. A moment where you realize this can't be it. That maybe, just maybe, there's more. Not because the pain goes away, but because you're tired of it owning you. You remember a time when you had drive, fire, purpose. You don't want pity. You want power. You don't want saving. You want revenge on the weakness, on the failure, on the voice that told you you're done. And in that tiny, sacred instant, you make a decision. You're not staying here. You're coming back swinging. In the middle of that darkness, something stirs, a tiny spark. It's not hope, it's not love, it's rage. It's a primal scream in your chest saying, I refuse to die like this. You start moving again, not because it's easy, but because staying down has become unbearable. Every push-up is a punch thrown at the past. Every early morning is a middle finger to the pain that tried to own you. You become addicted to the burn, the silence, the lonely grind. And for the first time, the mirror shows someone dangerous, a man rising from the ashes. You stop looking for comfort and start chasing pain, because now you know pain is real and comfort is a liar. You begin doing things that hurt because you understand. Growth lives on the other side of suffering. You push your body past its limit just to see if your soul will flinch, and it doesn't. The gym becomes your sanctuary. The iron becomes your therapist. Sweat becomes your proof that you're still alive, still fighting. While the world scrolls and sleeps, you bleed and build. You start hearing that internal voice again, but now it says, one more rep, one more step, one more. War to win. The spark becomes a flame. You don't need anyone clapping. You don't need recognition. This journey isn't for applause. It's revenge. Revenge on every day you wasted. Every promise you broke to yourself. Every time you let someone tell you what you couldn't do. Your fire becomes a form of protest. Every mile run, every fast endured, every comfort denied, it all screams, you were wrong about me. You look in the mirror and don't see weakness anymore. You see a man reborn in wrath and responsibility, the kind of man who doesn't just survive, he dominates. You stop chasing who you were before the fall. That version of you is gone, and that's a good thing. The spark didn't bring him back. It forged something new, harder, smarter, hungrier. You realize that rock bottom wasn't the end. It was the forge. The world tried to bury you, but you weren't buried. You were planted. And now you're rising through the soil with fists clenched and teeth bared. No more apologies. No more pretending. From now on, every step is taken with purpose and defiance. You are becoming the man you were meant to be. You don't need to say it out loud. Your energy announces you before your mouth opens. People sense it, the shift. They see the darkness in your eyes, not as despair, but as depth. You walk with the presence of someone who crawled through hell and came back with fire in his fists. You stopped wishing for better days. You started becoming the weapon that makes them happen. And that spark of defiance, it didn't save your life. It gave you a new one, one forged in silence, sweat, and savage purpose. But it's not linear. Every step forward is met with a whisper from the past. You're not enough. You'll fail again. These voices don't disappear. They evolve. They disguise themselves as logic, caution, even comfort. But they are enemies in disguise, and you must go to war with them daily. You start building armor, not of steel, but of discipline, suffering, and purpose. Cold showers, long runs, empty rooms filled with echoes of self-talk. You become your own savior, your own enemy, your own damn army. The fight inside becomes louder than anything outside. Every morning feels like a battlefield before your feet even hit the floor. Your mind doesn't hand you confidence. It tries to sell you doubt, dressed in rationality. Take a break. You've done enough. No, that voice wants you weak, predictable, soft. But you're not that man anymore. You talk back to your thoughts now. You bark orders at your brain like a general in war. Get up. One more set. Silence the weakness. You treat your comfort like a traitor, because it is. The war within isn't about victory, it's about domination. And make no mistake, it gets lonely. Not everyone will understand why you're always grinding, always cold, always calm. You'll get mocked for being obsessed. You'll be told to take it easy by people who've never tasted greatness. But that's the cost. You trade popularity for power. You trade comfort for clarity. You isolate to rebuild. You strip away everything fake to expose what's real. Because in war, you don't carry dead weight. You sharpen every edge. And you are the blade. Sometimes the old you creeps in wearing the face of temptation, the lazy habits, the pity parties, the just one day off mindset. But now, you're armed. You recognize those traps. You smile when the urge to quit shows up because it means you're getting close. You train your mind like a muscle. Failure is a rep. Pain is the growth. You don't need therapy. The grind is the therapy. You don't run from demons. You make them run from you. You stand in front of your past, chest out, soul exposed, and say, "I dare you to try me now." You realize this war won't ever end, and that's the point. It's the fight itself that sharpens you. You don't want peace anymore. Peace made. You're weak. Now chaos is your crucible. You move through life with scars under your skin and fire behind your eyes. And the voices, they still whisper. But now you don't silence them. You use them. You wear them like armor. You weaponize every insult, every doubt, every setback. The war within didn't break you. It made you bulletproof. You start reprogramming your mind like a machine. Weak. Thoughts get no oxygen. Excuses get choked out. Comfort becomes the enemy. You read, train, bleed, grow, every day a brick in the wall of your rebirth. People don't see the change at first. They don't understand why you disappeared. But the real ones, they see that glint in your eyes, the one that says you've been through hell and came back swinging. You start talking less and doing more. You no longer beg for a seat at the table. You build the damn table. You start living like a man who's already won the war. You become obsessed with the blueprint of your mind. You tear down every lie that once held you back, brick by brick. "I can't" gets executed. Maybe later gets exiled. The voice that once told you to rest becomes background noise to the new one that screams more. You stop hanging out with people who speak the language of weakness. If their sentences don't include sacrifice, growth, or war, you go silent. Music changes. Content changes. The fuel you consume is no longer entertainment. It's education, mindset, pain turned into playbooks. You walk into a room not looking to fit in, but to dominate the atmosphere. Your mornings now start before the sun even dares to rise. While others sleep, you sharpen. Cold showers turn into battlegrounds. Early morning runs become rituals where your thoughts bleed and get rebuilt in the frost. You start loving the struggle, not because it feels good, but because it's real. You stop needing motivation. You become the motivation. You don't chase inspiration. You become the storm that inspires others. The sweat, the solitude, the silence. It all becomes holy. The grind is no longer punishment, it's prayer. And every day you stack discipline like sacred bricks in a fortress the old you could never breach. Doubt still visits you, but it doesn't get to stay. It knocks, you answer, then slam the door with reps, reading, and relentless forward motion. You stop arguing with fear and start feeding it proof that it no longer runs the show. The discipline starts to overflow. It touches your work, your words, your walk. You become sharper with your time, brutal with your standards, and unreachable by old temptations. You're not the guy who needs reminders. You are the reminder. Others start asking, "How are you always on?" And you just smile because they don't know what it costs to stay lit in a world that wants you dim. And then comes a shift so subtle, yet powerful. You no longer think about quitting. Not because things got easier, but because you're no longer that man. The man who broke under pressure is gone. The one who begged for rest, begged for love, begged for escape, dead. This new version, he doesn't beg. He builds, he bleeds, he becomes. Your mind, once a battlefield, is now a fortress guarded by discipline and baptized in fire. You realize that mindset isn't just how you think, it's who you are. You're no longer reacting to life, you're crafting it on your terms with ruthless precision. The pain didn't break you, it built you. You begin to understand that suffering is the rent for greatness. Every scar becomes a chapter in your victory story. The ones who betrayed you gave you fuel. The days you were broke taught you hunger. The heartbreak taught you presence. You wear your past like armor now, not shame. And every step forward echoes with the sound of a man who earned every inch of his power. You become a weapon forged in fire. You're no longer running from darkness. You drag it with you, controlling it like a beast on a leash. You look back and realize it wasn't the good times that shaped you. It was the nights you screamed into your pillow with no one to hear. The days you stood in the mirror, trembling, telling yourself, "Get up." Pain didn't just show you who you are, it revealed who you're meant to become. There's something divine in suffering. It strips away the fake, the soft, the weak. All that's left is raw potential, begging to be weaponized. And you don't waste it. You use it like jet fuel. Pain was never punishment. It was preparation. And now you're ready to burn for something that matters. The heartbreak, that was your teacher in presence. It taught you to sit with the ache, not run from it. It gave you a heartbeat that doesn't chase, it chooses. The betrayal that gave you eyes to see who's real and, more importantly, who's not. The broke days, those taught you creativity, hunger, and the art of making something from nothing. Every failure became an instruction manual, every fall became fuel. While most ran from the fire, you walked into it and came out unrecognizable. You weren't ruined, you were reforged, and now you carry that fire inside your chest like a loaded weapon. There's a certain look in the eye of someone who's danced with demons and came back smiling. It's not arrogance, it's understanding. You understand what pain costs, and you know how to make it pay you back in strength. You walk differently, you speak with weight. People sense it, they don't know your story, but they feel your presence, and that's enough. Because real power isn't loud. It doesn't need validation. It moves with quiet devastation. Your scars don't tell people you're broken. They warn them you're unbreakable. You didn't survive the fire. You became the fire. And now nothing can burn you. You no longer flinch at the hard stuff. You seek it because you know on the other side of pain is the version of you no one is ready for. You stopped asking, "Why me?" and started declaring, "Watch me." You've been underestimated, overlooked, and abandoned, but none of that broke you. It revealed you. Now you move like a man who owes life nothing but demands everything. You walk into every challenge like you've already conquered it. You carry your pain like a king carries his crown, earned, heavy, and sacred. And the best part, you haven't even hit your prime yet. The world has no idea what's coming. Now you walk with purpose. Your head is high, your soul anchored. People feel your energy before you speak. You don't need to prove anything. Your presence is proof. Glory doesn't mean fame. It means power over your own story. It means walking through storms like they're summer rain. The boy who doubted dead. The man who rose unstoppable. You no longer chase approval. You breathe in silence and exhale confidence. This is what rising looks like, scarred, silent, and stronger than ever. You don't just walk, you command space now. Every step is calculated, not in fear, but in full awareness of your power. You've tasted blood, betrayal, loneliness, and none of it broke you. Instead, it etched a kind of quiet confidence into your bones. You don't speak often, but when you do, the room falls silent. Not out of fear, but respect for a man who's earned his voice. You've stopped waiting for perfect timing because you became the timing. Time bows to those who move with purpose. And now, purpose drips off you like sweat from war. You're not trying to be inspirational. You just are, because you lived. What most people run from, they can sense it. Glory lives in your silence. You no longer need noise. The claps, the praise, the validation, it all sounds like background static to a man who rebuilt himself in silence. You used to pray for peace. Now you are the peace, wrapped in chaos. Your mornings are no longer filled with dread, but with deliberate, merciless forward motion. There's discipline in your breath, fury in your heart, and calm in your eyes. You've stopped seeking shortcuts because you understand now. The long road builds the legend. Every scar, a trophy. Every mistake, a chapter. You're not ashamed of your past. You carry it like a sword. And those who underestimated you, they don't get to speak your name anymore. The boy who once begged for validation is gone. He died in the storm, buried under the weight of doubt. In his place stands a man who's untouchable, not because he's perfect, but because he embraced the imperfection. You didn't heal in comfort. You healed in chaos, in midnight battles with your own mind. You forged yourself in pain, and now even your enemies can't help but respect the fire in your veins. Your wins aren't loud. They're lethal, quiet, tactical, brutal. You don't celebrate every victory because you know you're not done. This isn't the finish line. It's just another hill you'll conquer barefoot, bleeding and grinning. Glory for you isn't the destination. It's the mindset. It's the way you pick up your soul each day like a weapon. It's the ability to hold the line when everything is falling apart. It's the savage patience in your eyes when others panic. You carry glory like a shadow. Never flashy, never loud, but always present. You don't need to announce your rise. The world feels it. You've become the type of man who walks into a room and shifts the entire atmosphere. That's what glory looks like. It's not a crown. It's the scars you no longer hide. It's not applause. It's the power of knowing you did it alone. This is what rising truly means. If you're in that dark place right now, let me tell you something. They lied to you. They told you to numb the pain, to give up, to shrink. But you were never meant to be average. You're a damn weapon, not some spectator in your own life. Let the tears fall. Let the anger rise. Use every ounce of heartbreak like gunpowder. This world bows to those who refuse to bow to it. Your story doesn't end in the pit. It begins. There, suffer now, dominate later. Let your demons witness your resurrection. You don't need the light. You become it. Darkness is just fuel. If you're lost right now, good. That means you're finally awake. It means the illusion is breaking and the mask is slipping. You've been fed poison in pretty bottles, distraction, addiction, apathy. They told you to soften, to sit still, to avoid the war within. But listen to me. That war is where you find yourself. Every tear, every night you felt invisible, every moment you wanted to quit, those were tests. And if you're still breathing, then you haven't failed. They wanted you to settle, to forget your fire, but you were born to burn with purpose. You don't need their permission to rise. You don't need their handouts, their likes, or their fake concern. All you need is a decision. a violent, absolute, non-negotiable decision to change. Not tomorrow, now. Don't let the pain go to waste. You weren't handed this suffering by accident. It's a gift wrapped in barbed wire. Rip it open. Use every drop of it to mold yourself into something terrifyingly powerful. You think you're broken. You're just unfinished. You think you're drowning. You're just learning how to breathe in fire. They didn't see you when you were silent, so make sure they feel you when you rise. Become the man they said you'd never be. Rewrite every label they placed on you in blood and sweat. Let them choke on their doubt while you sculpt your destiny with your bare hands. Stand up, shaking, crying, bleeding, but stand up. There is no right moment. This is the moment. You don't need the light at the end of the tunnel. Burn that tunnel down and build a highway through the smoke. Your glory isn't waiting for you in some distant paradise. It's buried beneath your pain, screaming for you to dig it out. This world only respects one thing: power. Not the fake, empty kind, but the kind forged in suffering, shaped by grit, and sealed with perseverance. You don't find that in comfort. You find that in the chaos that tried to destroy you. You are the weapon, and your wounds are your ammunition. So stand up, broken but breathing. Stand up, hopeless but unyielding. Stand up, because inside you is a force that can shatter mountains, and when you do, the world won't be able to ignore you anymore. They'll whisper your name like thunder. This is your message. This is your moment. Now rise. So now you stand on the edge of who you were and who you are becoming. Behind you, ashes. In front of you, glory. No one claps yet. That's okay. They'll clap when you're too far ahead to hear it. You are the storm, the silence before it, and the echo after it. Your voice is no longer a whisper, it's thunder. You don't seek glory, you earn it. Step forward. 1 foot in fire, 1 foot in purpose. Welcome to the other side. Welcome to glory. You feel the weight of every battle on your shoulders. The sleepless nights, the broken promises, the endless grind that tested your limits. But that weight, it's not a burden anymore. It's your crown. Each scar, each failure, each moment you wanted to quit but didn't, those are the jewels that make you sovereign over your own fate. You've been through hellfire and ice storms, and here you stand, tempered and unshakable. The world around you might still be chaotic, loud and unforgiving, but inside, you have peace, the kind born only from conquering your own chaos. The old you would have crumbled under this pressure. The new you thrive under it. You've learned that pain sharpens you like a blade, and now you're ready to cut through any obstacle that dares block your path. Silence isn't emptiness, it's your secret weapon. While the world yells and screams for attention, you've mastered the art of quiet domination. The storm is loud, but the calm before it? That's where the real power brews. You watch, you listen, you plan. Your mind is a fortress, impenetrable and strategic. Others might mistake your silence for weakness, but they don't see the wildfire burning just beneath the surface. Your silence becomes a warning, an unspoken threat that when you strike, it will shake the foundations of everything they thought was stable. You don't rush to prove yourself to anyone because you know your time will come. And when it does, your thunder will drown out every doubt and every insult ever thrown your way. Step forward with 1 foot in fire and the other rooted in purpose, because that's exactly where you belong. Between the burning chaos of your past and the clear vision of your future, the fire inside you isn't a destructive force, it's a forge that shapes you. It melts the chains of fear, burns away the illusions of limitation, and tempers your resolve until it's as strong as steel. You've stared into the abyss and seen it blink first. That's the kind of warrior you've become, a relentless force that refuses to back down, no matter the cost. The heat of your journey is the heat of transformation, and you wear it like armor. Nothing can burn you out because you are the flame. Now take that step. The other side is waiting. It's not a place, but a state of mind. A kingdom of your own making where glory isn't given, It's earned every single day. This is where the weak falter and the strong thrive. This is where your story breaks chains and builds empires. You've already survived the darkness. Now you rise with the strength only pain and perseverance can forge. The applause will come, but you won't hear it, because by then you'll be too busy creating your legacy, too far ahead for the doubters to catch up. You are no longer the boy who fell. You are the man who stands tall, undefeated, unshaken, and unstoppable. Welcome to the other side. Welcome to glory.